Hello there. You had a big sleep in this morning, didn't you? Big sleep in. Good morning, it's a new week. Nuala has set the tone for the week. She has just woken up at 10 o'clock. Everyone is always like, oh my gosh, Acaulay, you'll never get a moment's rest. This girl loves her sleep-ins in the morning. I was up super early for a shoot, so I did let her out for a pee before I left. But then I got back and she literally didn't even get out of bed when I got back. She just stayed in bed. We did have people over at the weekend and they had a wee dog. And Nuala just gets so excited with other dogs that she probably didn't rest as much at the weekend as what she usually would. So I think she's feeling the effects. You're just a tired little face. There's a tired little face. Shall we go outside for another pee-pee? Yes, okay then. This is the day we've got today, and would you look at that? The barbecue is built. So I opened last week's vlog in pain from being up a hill, and I'm once again starting my week in a lot of pain. And sadly Nuala couldn't come up this hill with us at the weekend. Yeah, it was one of the, how many Munros is there in Skye? Is it 12? 12 Munros in Skye. I have done, which ones have I done? I've done Blavin, Brooke-na-Free, Skirnanig, Skirnabanahy, Alistair, and then I done my sixth one at the weekend, which was Skirnageelan. And Skirnageelan is like when you're driving through Sligachen, which is where it's a really beautiful view of the Red Coolan and the Black Coolan. Skirnageelan is probably the mountain I have stared at in awe the most. It's like the super pointy one on the left. I'll insert some clips here and like show you where it is. Essentially, I always kind of thought it'd be a really unattainable mountain for me. Scottish Highlands right up on it definitely put the fear of God into me, and I will say it is a tricky hill to climb. It's very scrambly. My arms are just as sore as my legs, and coming down, scary, very scary, but I did feel confident and had the skills and ability to do it. So honestly, I feel so accomplished and so sore. Nuala's not so tired this morning because sadly she couldn't come up with me because of a few reasons. A, it was super scrambly and some sections I really don't think Nuala would have managed. Also, she moves so fast, I'd be terrified of her on those edges. No, I can't even think about it. Our friend has been up with their terrier and she can just be picked up on scary sections, whereas Nuala, you can't really pick her up and climb with her because she's that bit bigger. The gabbro rock that the Black Coolan are made of is super rough. My hands were in bits. They actually kind of still are in bits. They're super dry and rough after all the hands-on time, and my walking boots are torn to shreds, so you can only think what would happen to her little paws. She definitely needs some little shoes, I think, to go up there. So it was just one for her to sit out, but she is super tired today because once we got down from the hill we had burgers cooking away on the barbecue for us getting back home. So we had some other friends who were up some other hills and they dropped in on their way back to their house. And our friend Roz, who I was up Skirnageelan with, came, and our friend Chloe as well. So we had a little barbecue in the garden. So the barbecue, we didn't get our trial run as you saw in last week's vlog, but we did get to enjoy it with some friends at the weekend, which was so nice. It was so annoying though because the forecast had been so good, and I was so excited to have this barbecue on a nice night because the way the light is hitting the mountain when the sun is setting in the evenings is so lovely. But for the first time this summer, the mountain was just completely covered in cloud. So we had no view, but not a single midgie in sight. So it was an absolutely lovely night sitting out on the decking. We were there until it was pitch black and we had like candles and a little fire pit burning. And then eventually we came inside and a couple of friends stayed over and they had their little dog, the little terrier I was talking about, Trudy. She was over, and Nuala just loves other dogs so much. Trudy had been up 2 Munros and on a 38k hike, so Trudy was a little less keen for the play. But yeah, I think that's why Nuala is a little bit of a sleepyhead this morning, but that makes 2 of us. Today's the due date for the elopement I was editing last week, so that will be off my shoulders today. I was harping on about it a lot last week. So good to get that sent, that couple. They were just so good. As I'm editing these photos, I'm like, God, these guys had awful weather for this, and they smiled and laughed and just had so much fun throughout the whole thing, and it's so beautiful to see the photos all edited and ready to go. Once I've sent those photos away, I need to clean the house. After our friends left on Sunday morning after the barbecue, we then headed to Glenelg again. We were literally in Glenelg the weekend before as well, but our friend Debbie has looked after Nuala a lot this summer, so we took her out for a Sunday lunch to say thank you. Post barbecue, having people to stay, having drinks, clean up has not been done The place is not looking good. So gonna do a little clean of the house today, and then tonight going out for dinner to Gàidhlig, and then there's also a concert on in Gàidhlig. It's a band called Sian. They are incredible. Incredible women singing beautiful Gaelic song, and I absolutely love them. I've actually never seen them live as Sian. They do a lot of the singing with Nightworks, who actually are coming to the end of their touring days. But yeah, so I've seen them sing live, but not just as Sian. I'm so excited for this tonight. And the couple that I photographed this morning were telling me that they're also going to be there, so I might see them. It makes me so happy because I think that's such a wonderful thing for a tourist to do, to go hear some Gaelic song and support a local venue like Lass that puts on all this live music. They're quite transparent about it. They really struggle sometimes to get numbers and almost have to cancel shows because shows aren't being as attended as the kind of person coming to do the show needs it to be financially viable for them. So it just made me so happy to hear that tourists would book this, and hopefully that continues and that starts to become something that's on the map for people. This venue was only taken over by the Isle of Skye Candle Company a few years ago, so I guess it's a big change and people are still adjusting to the kind of things that are on. So hopefully, yeah, people start to realise that a good thing to do when you come and visit Skye, especially when it's notorious for having crap weather, is go see some live music at Lass. Or they also have a lot of comedy on, or even just a film, because yeah, they show the most recent movies at Lass as well. So if you're coming to visit, there's a little plug for Lass, because I just think they are incredible at what they do, and a delicious pizza restaurant within the same building as well. So I'll show you what a night is like at the Skye Candles Visitor Centre tonight, because that's what's on the cards. We have so much food left over from the barbecue at the weekend. Always panic buy way too much stuff. I'm gonna have a little sausage sandwich for my lunch, and in the time that they're cooking in the air fryer, I'm gonna do a quick spruce up of the kitchen. A few drams were had at the weekend. By no means done, but not bad for a little lunchtime spruce. I'll come back and finish the rest later. I'm just out walking Nuala just now, and this is the pool that we were swimming at the other night. And just to keep it real with you guys, I feel like Nuala's such a good dog, right? And she comes across as a really good dog in these videos. Obviously you're gonna want to portray your dog to be a really good dog online, but I don't want to set an unfair standard to people, because Nuala, as amazing as she is, of course she still comes with her own quirks, shall we say. And one of her quirks is she's essentially a really, really good dog until she's not. And it's like, she's so well behaved, so obedient, until there's that like switch that flicks in them. I feel like a lot of dogs have this, especially collies, where she just becomes so hyper focused on something, there's no getting through to her. And one of the times where this gets quite intense, and I say intense, it's never like, no one's ever in any danger, but when we're swimming, which Nuala does love, she can get to a stage of overstimulation where she just becomes so wired. So we were at that pool, and then another group of people came, and then there was a wee kid who was like throwing rocks in the water, and then that was like Nuala's switch. She was like thinking she was to be catching these rocks, and then everything after that, she was like just overstimulated, wired to the moon. Couldn't get through to her. We were up getting changed because we're like, you know what, like we'll just head, because when kids are involved, like they're going to do their own thing. And Nuala's really good with kids, but when kids are around, like they move places fast, they throw things around, they make strange noises. And I was just like, you know what, we've had our swim, we'll go and leave these people to it. And then when we were up getting changed at the side, guy in the group like jumped into the water, and like again she was just so wired to the moon, she jumped in the water with him, wanted to swim with him. Usually we'd be able to like call her back from something like that, but because she'd reached that state of overstimulation, there was no getting through to her. So I just wanted to come on and say that, because being a dog owner can be really hard, and you can be really hard on yourself, and I am really hard on myself. I think it's easier to realise even like on the surface well behaved dogs still have their flaws. But she's in super responsive and great mood just now, because there's nothing yet that's like kind of taken her to that stage of overstimulation. So I guess this is a really important time to train with her, really tighten up like the recall and the obedience. But all in all, she does me very proud. But you just get a bit excited when we swim, but you're all good when it's you and your mummy. When it's just us, you're so good. Come here. Good dog. Oh, you've got a golf ball. Leave it. back up. Good dog. A bit of training I'm doing with her just now is just like taking a seat every time we're out on a walk and just teaching her how to just be still while we're outside in a exciting, stimulating environment. Walks to Nula is usually all fun and games, but I'm trying to teach her that sometimes we can also just chill out when we're on a walk, can't we? Every time I post pictures of my kitchen on a social media app, really, when you get these little reminders that like, I just go about my social media life assuming everyone's in Scotland, if that makes sense. When I uploaded my vlog last week, I uploaded it like 9:30 at night and I was like, oh god, that's so late for everyone to watch it. And then I forget that that's actually only a very small portion of the people that are watching it at that time that I'm uploading it. Like, it's a completely different time for other people around the world that are watching my videos. These little things crop up that really do remind me that that's not the case, that not everyone is based in Scotland. And one of those things is how many questions I get about this pulley, because I forget that it's not a normal thing across the whole globe. So just to blow everyone's mind that is not based in the UK watching my videos, yes, my washing machine is located in my kitchen, and no, I do not have a tumble dryer. I would love a tumble dryer. I would love my washing machine not to be in my kitchen, but that just seems to be the way it is here in Scotland. We actually added this pulley into the kitchen when we moved in. This kitchen's not actually typically where you would find a pulley, but I was just hell-bent on having one. I grew up in a house with one and it's just ultimate like kind of Scottish farmhouse vibe. Our ceilings are quite high in the front part of our house, but the kitchen and the bathroom wasn't part of the original building. It was an extension, not by us, but by someone at some stage. So this is actually like a flat roofed section of the house, and the ceilings are a lot lower in here. So it's not really where you'd typically find a pulley, but like I said, I wanted one anyway. And I absolutely love it. Another little reminder that I had lately that not all of my followers are based in Scotland was I posted a picture of a tatty scone, and so many people were like, what in the world is that? So I really do need to do a video at some stage making tatty scones, because I think the tatty scones you get particularly in southwest Scotland where I was born are the best kind of tatty scones. So even for those that are based in Scotland, the tatty scones that I make are a little bit different to those other people in Scotland have them. So that'll be an up and coming video, but maybe this week. Actually, I might have some potatoes that I need to use, so maybe it could be this week. I've never actually checked the insights of my YouTube. I don't actually know where my audience is primarily based. The last vlog when I posted about whether people say pottering or puttering, because I recently found out that Americans, and I think Canadians, because someone did comment in the last video that they're Canadian and say puttering. But yeah, it seemed that people were very much on the pottering side of things, which leads me to believe that you guys are more based in the UK. So here's another little test. Have you seen a pulley before? Or are you the lucky one with a laundry room purpose built for washing and drying your clothes? Let me know. So I'm just going to quickly top up my makeup before heading out for the night. What do you guys do when you've got like makeup on for the day already? Do you redo your makeup completely, or do you just chuck a little bit over what you've already got on? Because I absolutely do the latter, which is probably a little bit clarty, but in a world of clean girls, I'm a clarty girl, and I just chuck it on over the top of what I've already got on, and I don't think there's any problems. This stuff went on at about 6 o'clock this morning, so definitely needs a little bit of a refresh. The band that I'm going to see tonight are called Sian. They're a trio of female Gaelic singers, and they are so good. And my favourite song that they do, I'm not going to pronounce the Gaelic because that's still a journey in itself, but it translates to the first day of autumn. So I'm really hoping that they play that, because I feel like that might be a little bit of like a momentous change of the seasons moment. It is such a beautiful, beautiful song. I will type it here what it's called, and you should go listen to it because it's so nice. It's such an autumnal vibe, and yeah, I'm really hoping they play it because I'm feeling autumnal. Because you know another thing, I have tights on. That is just the ultimate like autumn wardrobe staple, and this is my first time wearing them this season. So this is another Nobody's Child top. I always never actually buy these things on their website. I'm always browsing other websites and then see items from Nobody's Child and always end up buying them. Not like because I see it's Nobody's Child, they're always just the thing that I'm drawn to. So I probably need to start actually shopping from Nobody's Child because they're clearly quite up my street and my style. But yeah, this is a little Nobody's Child. I think I got it via Marks and Spencer's. I think it's them that stock it. Or is it John Lewis? One of the two. I think they probably both stock them, but that is where I got this top. I had a bit of an ordeal choosing an outfit, but at least I'm polite and left all my mess on my side of the bed. But yeah, some days I just could not care less and I will chuck whatever on and not give a damn about how it makes me look. Other days, just not the most kind to myself. I didn't really know today was one of those days, and then I was getting ready and I was like, Jesus, I hate everything. But we always come out the other end of these little times, and I managed to find an outfit in the end that worked, so that's good. I guess I'm not quite in the swing of dressing for a slightly colder weather yet, so it's always going to come, the crazy pile of clothes on the bed. A little bit of pillow talk. It took me so long to finally buy this lipstick. I used to be, well, I still am like a ride or die red lipstick gal, and I would wear red lipstick like to casual events. Not casual events, but I would wear red lipstick just like to things that people would usually think red lipstick requires more of a special occasion for, if that makes sense. I'm not going to stop that, but I do think part of it was down to the fact that I hadn't found the right nude lip yet. Also, last time, just saw this sitting here and it reminded me, you are visiting the Highlands soon. Just before sitting down to film, removed a tick from my back. Last week I removed another one as well. I literally had just been saying to Lee how little we'd seen of ticks this year, and then I've had 2 within the last week. So I don't know if it's a bit of a coincidence that I've just had a few over the last week, or if they are having quite a late like peak in the season. So if you are visiting Skye or the Highlands, or kind of just Scotland, because there was loads where I grew up in southwest Scotland as well, if you are visiting, do be mindful of checking for ticks. I just noticed I had a little red mark on my back, and then I had to look really closely and noticed it was a tick. And the last one I got was in my armpit, and I thought it was a bit of armpit hair, but then it didn't come off, and then I realised it was a tick. That was like the most horrible feeling ever, trying to shave a tick. Anyway, always have a tick twister with you. You can get a few variations of different ways to remove them, but I would always bring something or keep it in your wallet. Like I lose everything in life, I always keep tabs on where this thing is, and it always comes in very handy. Now, this one that had a bit of a red mark around it, I am going to keep an eye on it, because while getting a tick bite doesn't mean that you're instantly going to have Lyme disease, because not all ticks carry Lyme disease. What you need to watch out for is if the bite that you got then develops a bullseye mark around it. I'll insert like a picture here, I guess I'll find one online, and keep an eye on. So if you remove a tick and then notice that appears, go see your doctor. I'm going to keep an eye on that one and be super careful, because it was probably starting to get a little bit lax because it's coming into autumn now, and they're usually more like spring, summer that they're more prevalent. I'm going to be keeping a close eye, and keeping a close eye on Nuala and keeping her tick medication topped up as well, because they're clearly still out and about. Right, I'm going to head now to Gasta for my dinner and then enjoy some beautiful music from the wonderful band Sian. Last thing actually, because I just put on this jacket and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's so autumnal, I love it. You will have to excuse the mess on the bed behind me, because that's going to be a problem for future Caroline when she gets home. But oh my goodness, the joy that this jacket has brought me, and just the autumn vibes. I'm so happy. It's also absolutely horrible outside, so it only feels right that we're bringing the autumn vibe tonight, because that is it. Officially here. I have my tights on, I have my Merlot leather jacket on. It was a charity shop find, by the way. Unfortunately, cannot point you towards it. And we're ready to go. I don't know, you can't imagine them about, I don't know.
Away. So that's what this song's about. There are, we'll be singing some more powerful, sad songs later on.